Hi, welcome to my Piano Pizzazz tutorial. Today we're going to be learning a new song called Blue Sky Rag. It's a ragtime piece. A ragtime piece was born out of the African American heritage mixed with the European classical style. So I think it's a fun piece. It has a little bit more of a drive to it, a little bit of a rhythm. You'll enjoy working on it. The Blue Sky Rag, it kind of reminded me of the oils that we diffuse here in our house. If you come to my house for piano lessons, oftentimes you'll see or smell the scents that I use in our diffuser. This particular one is called Stress Away. All right, so Stress Away kind of reminded me of like, there's nothing wrong in the world. Everything is great, and when you look up in the sky, there's no clouds. It's a blue sky. So it's going to be a happy song. It's not going to be a minor sounding song. I'm trying to help stress the difference between the major and the minor. Actually, I take that back. This one starts in major and then it goes to minor. So we do have that element in this song. I forgot about that for just a second. We're going to start in the key of D on this one. Okay, so this one has two sharps. The key of D scale incorporates two sharps. So you've got your D, then your E, then your F sharp, and then your G, your A, your B, you've got the C sharp, and the D. So you would play the D scale is the same way as you would play the C scale. How you put on the C, you would go 1, 2, 3, put your thumb under, and then keep on going. So you have a group of 3, and then by putting your thumb under, you rotate your hand over so that you have another group of 5. 3 plus 5 is 8, so that gives you the amount of fingers to play 8 tones, okay? So let me show you on the piano, the D scale, all right? So I'll do it up here where you can see it better. On the D, E, F sharp, you play with a 1, 2, 3, slide your thumb under onto the G, pivot over, A, B, C sharp, and D, okay? So it's important that you work on that D scale just to kind of get the feel of the piece. And the notes that you're going to be altering, the C and the F. That's what they tell us right here in the key signature. Okay, so one of the first things that stands out to me when I look at this piece is on the bottom clef. Normally the bass clef is there, but in this particular situation, they have an additional treble clef there. So when you have two treble clefs, such as right there, that means both of your hands are reading and playing in the treble clef, in the higher position on the piano. Okay, so that's important to notice. So the left hand is going to be starting above middle C. The pinky is going to be on G and D. It's a fifth right there. Then it moves down, a fifth there. Then it moves down again, a fifth here. Now notice on the third measure, it changes. It puts that bass clef sign back into the bottom clef, okay? So it looks like those notes are kind of higher than the first two measures, but it's actually lower because of the clef sign change. So that can be tricky right there. So those intervals start high, goes down 4 notes, and then goes down 4 more notes. And then it goes down to the A and steps down to the D position right there. All right, so that's what the left hand is going to be doing. The right hand is going to be learning some new higher notes, okay? So we're going to go over some of those notes right here. All right, in the treble clef, the note above the staff right here, that's the G, okay? Most of you know the line notes like every good boy does fine, you know, E, G, B, D, and F, but this one is right above F, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, okay? So G sets above the staff. So if we're continuing on above, we're going higher, after G, we come to A, okay? So A is above the staff with a line through it, okay? So there's A. So then above that A, we have B, okay? So you see that ledger line for A is there, and then the B sets above that, okay? So that we're talking about the notes way up here above. Here's the middle C, here's the treble C. So we're talking about the notes way up here in near the high C. And this exactly right here is the high C. We call that one the high C right here. It's 2 ledger lines above the staff. Okay, so our first note, actually, I don't have a card for it, but it's above that note. It's above 2 ledger lines. It's the D. Okay, so you can see on the first measure of your song, there's 2 ledger lines and then that note sits above it. Okay, so it's skipping down from D to B and then G and back up to D. It ties over and then steps down onto C sharp and then B. Okay, so you're playing a chord. Actually, that's the G chord that you're playing right there. And then it moves down to the D position. Okay, so it's A, F sharp, D, A, tie, G, F sharp. And then it moves down again to the A position here. So you've got A, skip, skip, back up to your E, tie, D, C sharp, B, A. Okay, so you've got 3 different positions right there, which corresponds to the 3 chords that we would have in the key of D. So let me show you here. Okay, so we have in the key of D, we've got the 1 chord. Okay, so a 1 chord is the name of the key, okay, or the scale that the song is based off of. Okay, so a 1 chord in the key of D would be a D chord. Okay, so I could play it here, I could play it here, here, down low, wherever I want to play it. Okay, so that's the D chord, the D, F sharp, and A. Every other note makes up the D chord there. The 4 chord is the next one. That's based off of, if you take your D and you count up 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, that takes us to G. So our 4 chord is a G chord, okay? So it's a chord built on the 4th tone of the scale, okay? So here's my G. I'm gonna go up every other note to form the chord. So there's my 4 chord. And then my 5 chord right here is built on the 5th tone of the D scale. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's my A. And every other note above A, remember I have to play C sharp in this key, and then here's my E. Okay, so because I'm in the key of D, I have to play the F sharp instead of the F naturals, or the C sharps instead of the C naturals. Okay, so the 3 chords that I'm playing, the 1 chord again, D, the 4 chord is G, the 5 chord is A. Okay, now on this song, it's going to be in a higher position. Okay, so actually we're not even starting on the 1, we're starting on the G chord, which is the 4 chord. All right, so we're starting way up here in that higher position, right up here on the G chord. And then I'm moving it down to the 1 chord. Okay, so I'm coming down to the D chord after that. Then after that, it goes to A, the A position here where your A chord would be, and it's. Okay, so that's the order of your chords right there for your introduction part. All right, so I'm going to add the left hand with it, and you can see how that goes together. And then move to the D position. And then move on down to the A position. And then move the left hand down so that together you play A. And then you're back in the regular D position, right above the middle C for the right hand and below the middle C for the left hand. Okay, so I'm going to begin on measure 5, and you can hear what it sounds like. See those intervals right there? 5th, 4th, 3rd in the left hand. In the right hand, it's 3rd, 4th, 5th. So that can be a little bit tricky right there. Okay, then it goes to the 4th here with the 4th finger. Again, the same idea here. So that's the first 3 lines of your song. Now, after that, it goes into the minor key. It has a key change. Actually, you can see the key change right here where they change the clef and they put flats right here. Now, over here for this line, these 2 lines are in the key of D minor. Okay, now it looks like you're in the key of F. F has 1 flat right here in the key signature, okay? But every major key has a relative minor key based on the 6th tone of this scale. So if this is the key of F, my scale would be F, G, A, B flat, C, D, E, F. So the sixth tone that I just called out was D. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's my D, okay? So this is a D minor chord that I'm going to be playing right here on measure 13. And notice that the B's have to be flat. You may have to mark those B's in there. I'm going to show you that again. Right here you had that G sharp, which is the middle of the 3 black keys. And then it goes to the upper one, the B flat right there. Here's your B, here's B flat. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. Hold that out while you play your intervals here. And then here's your C sharp. And the left hand is going to be on 1, cross the 2 up, over it, back down. And then it does it again. And then you've got a little chromatic scale right here. And it goes back into the key of D. You can see how it changes the key signature right there. It pulls us back into the 2 sharps again. So now this section, measure 21, I'm moving up to the D position, not the middle D position, but the one above it. Okay, so it's an octave higher. Actually, the left hand stays there. I'm sorry, it's just the right hand that moves up. Measure 5, it has your hands right here in the middle. Measure 21, just the right hand moves up an octave higher, but it sounds the same. Is just the same as what you played here. It just sounds higher in the right hand. Now measure 29 to the end, it sounds like your introduction again. Okay, so we're moving our hands back up. Both hands now, oh, you know what? They keep changing it up on me. The right hand goes back up to where you had it here, but the left hand is not as high as it was here. It's just in the G position right in the middle C area. So it's an octave lower from what you started with here. So your hands are more separated here. And then at the end you have this fun little ending, okay? So this is a little tiny grace note at the end where it is crossed out, that little tiny note. That is a C sharp. It's sharped automatically because of the key signature. And then you play it on the way to the D. You make it sound like you're just accidentally playing that note on the way down to the D. And it's a staccato note as well. Okay, so I'm going to play the whole song for you up to speed where you can see my hands, and I think that you will be able to follow along a little bit better. I'm just making sure you can see my hands. Okay, here we go. Let me try that again. That was not so good. All right, so that sounds like a fun song where you don't have a care in the world. Everything is going in your favor, and it's a easy song to put you in a good mood if you are practicing. Sometimes that minor kind of sound can be a little sad or serious, but in this song it sounds a little bit more mysterious. Okay, so it kind of contrasts from the happy sound in the major. So this one is going to probably require a little bit more practicing because many of you may not have played in 2 sharps before or in that minor, and some of the notes are higher up. So work on memorizing those new notes that I showed you on the video. You may need to rewatch the video. Just because you watch it one time may not be enough to learn all of the things in this level. This is level 3, book 3. So there's a lot of new material coming at you. So I want you to really absorb it and see if you can master the song and make it a happy, cheerful song so that it puts you in a good mood. All right, so take care and I'll see you in the next video.